This is a DGHradio.com news and information, United States Virgin Islands weather review.
All right, let's kick things off by taking a look at the big picture for the whole region. What's brewing out there in the Atlantic?
And here's the answer straight from the National Hurricane Center. The main takeaway, it's quiet, really quiet. We're talking clear conditions across the whole North Atlantic, the Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico. So for the next 7 days, there are just no organized systems on our radar.
And this just says it all, doesn't it? A big ol' zero. Love to see it. And because things are so calm out there for the next week, it means we can really zoom in and focus on what's happening right here, at home, in our own backyard.
Okay, so with the tropics nice and quiet, we're going to shift our focus right to our coastlines, because this is where the real weather story is for the next day or two. And honestly, it's all about being safe in and around the water. So here's the deal. We've got a northwesterly swell pushing into our waters, and that's kicking up some pretty dangerous conditions. I'm talking a high risk of rip currents, surf that could absolutely be life-threatening, and seas building up to 7 feet. If you're a boater, heads up. A small craft advisory is going into effect this evening. The bottom line here is simple. If you're going near the beach or out on a boat, you have got to be extremely careful. And it's super important we're all on the same page about what a high risk of rip currents really means. We're not just talking about big waves for surfing. Nope. These are powerful, narrow jets of water pulling away from the shore. They can tire out even the absolute strongest swimmers. So when we say high risk, please hear this. The conditions are genuinely life-threatening for everyone who gets in the surf.
All right, so let's zoom in even closer and check out the day-to-day forecast. We'll see how things are going to shape up across the islands for today, tonight, and into tomorrow.
Okay, so taking a look here, what's interesting is how stable the pattern is for the most part. Yeah, you'll see some small differences between, say, St. Thomas and St. Croix, maybe a slightly lower rain chance here or there, but the main story is pretty much the same everywhere. A mix of clouds and sun with some scattered showers popping up, especially in the afternoon and overnight. Temps are holding steady too. Highs around the low 90s, lows in the low 80s. It's a pretty classic, showery trade wind pattern for us. But don't get too used to that stable pattern because it's not sticking around. As we look ahead, there's a weather system, basically a frontal boundary, making its way down from the north. And yep, it's going to bring a pretty noticeable change to our weather right on cue for the weekend. And you can really see the difference when you put them side by side like this. Through Friday, right? It's that familiar pattern. Brief passing showers, business as usual. But then boom, the weekend hits. That front brings in more moisture, which means, you guessed it, more showers. We could even see some heavier downpours in the afternoon. The upside? Maybe some slightly fresher temps. Oh, and the winds are going to calm down and become more variable too. Okay, let's pull this all together. What are the key things you need to know to plan out the rest of your week? All right, 4 big takeaways for you. Number 1, and this is the best news, no tropical threats. The Atlantic is quiet for the next week. Number 2, the main story right now is safety. Those seas are hazardous through Thursday, so be smart at the beach. Number 3, we're in for a few more days of those brief passing showers. And finally, number 4, get ready for a change this weekend. It's going to get wetter with a slight dip in temperatures.
So, the big question is, with those hazardous seas now and a wetter weekend on the way, how are you going to plan your week? Hopefully, this info helps you stay safe and still make the most of it. Maybe that means skipping the swim for a couple of days or lining up some indoor fun for the weekend. That's your DGHradio.com weather review.